We see Aziraphale alone. Crowley steals his sword and wants answers. He gets hurt and Aziraphale patches him up. Surprised by the kindness, Crowley lets him go. Now Crowley sleeps in an alley on Whitby Street. His days go by in a blur of drinking and watching over the bookstore. A kingpin named Brian tricks him into losing his car in a Monopoly game. Brian offers the Bentley back if Crowley can win a card game called Find the Lady. He loses and gets thrown out. Up in heaven, Aziraphale has reshaped the Second Coming. Instead of war, it becomes a peaceful new beginning on earth, starting with Jesus speaking gently to the United Nations. Jesus is back, but all he wants is someone familiar. With everyone he knew gone, he asks for Crowley. It turns out Crowley once showed him the world before he was crucified. Someone kills Metatron and takes the Book of Life. Alarms blare. In the confusion, Jesus slips away to Earth. Michael assigns Muriel to find the book, while Aziraphale goes after Jesus. On Earth, a stranger gives Jesus food and brings him to Crowley. Jesus is lost and unsure of his purpose. A drunk Crowley rambles about Find the Lady. Jesus takes the words at face value and sets off to find this lady. Around the same time, Dagon orders Crowley to track Jesus down. Hell wants to use him against heaven. Crowley says no, quits being a demon, and goes back to sleep. Aziraphale has no idea where to look. Muriel suggests turning to Crowley for help and accidentally lets it slip that Crowley is struggling. Aziraphale grows worried. He arrives on Whitby Street and barely recognizes it. Mrs. Sandwich, the one original business owner still standing, scolds him for walking away from both the street and Crowley. Aziraphale finds Crowley and tries to be light and easy, as if nothing happened. Crowley is not having it. He is distant and lets his pain show without saying much. Crowley refuses the apology, so Aziraphale drops it and convinces him to help find Jesus instead. Then comes the shock. The Bentley is gone. A flashback fills in the gap. Brian had threatened to burn down the bookstore if Crowley refused to bet the car. Back in the present, Aziraphale challenges Brian to a crossword competition and wins the Bentley back. Brian ends up in the hospital. Not far away, Jesus makes friends with a street magician named Harry the Fish and asks to be taught Find the Lady. Not far away, Jesus makes friends with a street magician named Harry the Fish and asks to be taught Find the Lady. As the two search for Jesus, Aziraphale insists he took Metatron's offer to change things and protect everyone, including Crowley and himself. In heaven, Sandalphon claims he has answers. He is killed before he can share them. Concerned for Aziraphale's safety, Crowley goes with him to heaven. Uriel behaves strangely, going through Aziraphale's things and clashing with Michael over Muriel's investigation. With nowhere else to turn, Aziraphale and Muriel pose as high-ranking demons and press Dagon for information. They learn there is a secret source who tipped hell off about the missing book and the two murdered archangels. Meanwhile, Harry tells Jesus that card games are about manipulation. Jesus sees it differently. To him, it is about comfort, and finding the lady means finding love. Crowley takes Aziraphale out to eat. They argue again about his choice, and Aziraphale says it was Crowley who taught him that one person can make a difference. The Second Coming is his way of proving it. Somewhere in the conversation, they circle back to Jesus, and Crowley finally places him as the man from the alley. Just then, Brian's daughter Misty shows up threatening to torch the bookstore in revenge. Muriel arrives too, and realizes Michael set her on the investigation precisely because she is not sharp enough to figure anything out. A demon named Eric also turns up, recognizes Aziraphale, and declares his presence an act of war. Aziraphale quietly undoes Brian's health scare and sends Misty to be with her father. Michael murders Uriel, the last capable archangel, ranting that the Second Coming must happen the right way. She travels to the center of the universe and uses the eternal flame to burn the Book of Life page by page. With each page gone, reality unravels. Aziraphale and Crowley race to stop her. On the way, they cross paths with Harry and Jesus. They are relieved to see Jesus has found his footing. He is gathering people around him and bringing them comfort. The Bentley gets them to the center. They stop Michael, but the book has already broken her mind. She rants about being overlooked despite only wanting to fix things. In a rage, she destroys what remains of it. Crowley grabs the page for the bookstore and holds onto Aziraphale. Everything is gone. Only the bookstore exists, and the two of them with it. Aziraphale begs forgiveness. Crowley gives it. Then Satan appears. Crowley is furious. Nothing adds up. Together, they trick God into showing herself. They demand explanations. God talks about stories and endings. Satan is still around because she wanted a tidy final confrontation to close out the universe's tale. They realize free will was never truly free. Their love story was something she nudged along because it made her smile. Still, Aziraphale says out loud that he loves Crowley, and that Crowley was the finest angel there ever was. God decides it is time to end things. When Crowley pushes back, she gives him the chance to write the final page. Crowley wants a real universe. One where free will mean something, where no angels or demons, no God or Satan, no grand plan, no interference exists. Aziraphale agrees completely. They take each other's hands. God, feeling generous, gives them what they asked for, and everything fades away with a smile. In the new universe, every supernatural being is now human. Asafel and Derek run a bookstore together. One day, Professor Anthony Crowley walks in looking for a book on astrophysics. Asa and Crowley meet for what feels like the first time and end up going on a date. At the restaurant, Michael and Dagon work behind the bar. Familiar faces fill the room, including Uriel, Muriel, Eric, and Jesus. A painting of Terry Pratchett hangs on the wall. 20 years pass. Asa and Crowley are married and lying under the stars when a nightingale begins to sing. It has always been the sound of their love.